Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Today, of course, because of the lockdown, we haven't got as many of the Prabhupada disciples in the area. Only a few this year, but nevertheless. I think Maharaj mentioned about the 125th anniversary of Srila Prabhupada. Of course, Prabhupada appeared in 1896, so this is 2021, so that's 125 years. The devotees in India had the idea, I can't remember if it was last year or even the year before, they started thinking about doing special celebrations for the 125th anniversary of Prabhupada's appearance, but we've all received information how they bought the place where Srila Prabhupada was born, at 63 Tollygunge Road, Calcutta. And so that was their idea, to actually purchase that. And wasn't it Prabhupada's nephew or something had come and shown a letter he'd who was it, Sankarshan or something like that, had come. He got a letter from Prabhupada that place should be bought. But there were 17 tenants living on the property in houses there. And so, you know, in India, of course, to move out a tenant is virtually impossible. They got strong tenancy laws that you can't just, landlords can't just move out tenants just willy-nilly. They have to go through a whole. Anyway, so not tenants. I think they were actually owners of the because Radha Raman had put out a message that we're trying to purchase that birthplace of Srila Prabhupada, and we need to buy them out. And you know, they're asking a lot of money because they know we want it. They're asking for more and more money. So he put out a message all around into the GBC. The GBC organised donations to be sent for their individual devotees like Shiva Maharaj, Niranjan Maharaj, others, Radhanath Maharaj, organised from Chalpati to send donations there. So they needed crores, I forget the exact figure, but it was crores of rupees to buy those owners out. And they got a lot in donations, but they were still short. But somehow or other, someone had organised a loan, and so they're able to get the required amount. And Radha Raman actually sent us a message. I can't remember, a few weeks ago, that finally they had secured 63 Tollygunge Road where Prabhupada was born. Apparently he was born under a jackfruit tree, and so they identified that tree. And the soil, they said that it was under that tree was very special soil, not like the soil that's around in Bengal, but more like the soil from the Vrindavan area, yellowish kind of soil. They said it was a very kind of special place. Also, that nearby, the Ganga used to go nearby, about 100 metres nearby, but it's kind of dried up and got all dirty and unkept. So they approached the Chief Minister of Bengal and through her representatives and asked them, can the government clean up that whole area there and make that little area of the Ganga nice again. So they have agreed to do that. They're going to spend a lot of money cleaning up that whole area there where the Ganga flows nearby Srila Prabhupada's birthplace. So, he gave a nice report too. After 17 tenants, I think they were there, then there was extra 3 or something like that. It may have even been 20. The idea was that they had to clear the land, and so they did that. And they put in a lot of workers. They sent videos to everyone, just those who donated especially. They sent it to everyone. Sent the videos of the construction going on. They built a wall around the land. Their idea is to actually also buy up land adjacent to that property, and ultimately have like 2 acres of land there. So the first phase is to build like a mandap, raised up about a metre or so, and there they'll install Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet. They'll make a special structure, marble, and they'll put Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet there. Then that's the first phase, and then the second phase will be they'll erect like a Vrindavan, Krishna Balaram Vrindavan, Srila Prabhupada's Samadhi style structure. That's second phase. So it's a very wonderful achievement, very, very amazing how they were able to do that. And all the devotees from around the world pitched in to get that property. So that was a special effort and special offering for Prabhupada's 125th anniversary. And also they, now to inaugurate that, I believe that, I don't know if she's already done it, but the Chief Minister of Bengal, was that yesterday or was it today? I can't remember whether it was today, but she's going to, by virtual, she's going to be on a virtual conference where she's going to inaugurate Prabhupada's birthplace, and the footprints there, and the lotus feet. So she'll be on there today. And then there was also a coin that they approached the various authorities, and they're getting the Prime Minister of India today. They said at 4:30 today, India time, the Prime Minister is going to dedicate 125 rupee coin, Prabhupada coin. So he'll be doing that at 4:30 today. 125 rupee Prabhupada coin. So, and that's Narendra Modi. He's a very kind of pious man, and he's a friend to ISKCON, and especially Yasomati Nandan knew him from Gujarat side. So he cultivated, and others have cultivated him, and so very wonderful achievement, all this type of thing. And so the idea is that for the 125th, all around the world now, because of the COVID, a lot of places are locked down, and so we're going to. The idea is to do special things during the year, going into this year and even going into next year, for 125th to commemorate Prabhupada's 125th anniversary. So, I mean, I've been invited to speak on a number of conferences in regard to Prabhupada. Today I've got one, and in a few days I've got another one. So they're doing, New Zealand and other places have asked. So, it's a kind of a special, and I've been asked to, with the leaders here in this area and in Indonesia where I work, I've asked them to try to do something, whatever they can, because of COVID. It may be a little bit restricted, but whatever they can. So a lot of things are going on, especially online, in regard to this special celebration. And so I was just thinking, Maharaj was talking about the early days, how Prabhupada came, the impossible dream, and I was just thinking that all this, and when you get chief ministers and prime ministers, you're coming and glorifying Prabhupada, and that actually his stature has grown immensely. It's just grown in a huge way, well, especially in India and other places also. So even in the beginning, he was just one man, and then he was able to, with the help of his disciples, establish centres all over the world. But now, today, there are so many centres, and his stature has grown and grown and grown. So it's a very amazing thing to me. Someone who'd been passed away for 44 years, his stature has grown so much more since then, even after his passing. So it's still inspiring so many, to come to Krishna consciousness, engage and spread Krishna consciousness. So Srila Prabhupada's just an amazing personality. So anyway, I guess I can. I remember how he came. We were very lucky here in Australia. Prabhupada came here, and also a couple of times to New Zealand, and he came to Australia six times. Apart from America and India and maybe a few other places. I don't know if he went to any country so many times. So we were very lucky, right? You can read in Korma's book and also in Satsvarup Maharaj's Leela his visits to here. So I always, relished. And I was just on a call the other day. It was with Teen Tweets. It was called Teen Tweets. There's some devotees in Sydney have organised a very nice idea. All our teenage children and to know about Prabhupada and to hear from the Prabhupada disciples, their experiences with Srila Prabhupada. So they call it Teen Tweets. So it was my turn the other day, and there was a few other Prabhupada disciples. Saravi was on and Mahotsa was on. And so they've been going for like a month or two. And so I spoke about some experiences I had, but I always remember that, I remembered that Malati actually jogged my memory about this. She put it up on the GBC conference that when Prabhupada came for Rath Yatra in 1974, we had wanted to get a brass band. We heard that LA had organised a brass band. Is that right? A brass band in front of the parade. And anyway, I don't know if the LA did or someone did it.
I think it was the Scottish Bagpipe Band.
Yeah, here Scottish. Here was, but I heard over there. Yeah, but anyway, we got the score to the Hare Krishna mantra. I seem to remember it was from LA side that we got the score, so we could give to the brass band. So when they marched in front of the parade, they had the score. They had like the music in front of them, and then they could play the Hare Krishna mantra. And so they got me onto this because I was in a brass band, so I knew kind of how to do. Chiru got onto me and said, "Look, you were a musician before. Can you organise?" So I said, "Yeah, we'll need a score. We'll need this." So we sourced it from. I'm pretty sure it was LA. Anyway, we couldn't find a brass band to go on that date. That was the thing. We were looking for brass bands but we couldn't find it. They were all booked out. So we were looking around, and then someone, I think it was Chiru, said, "Oh, well, I found this Scottish bagpipe band. They're free. They're free." And I said, "Scottish bag? I don't know if that's the same sort of thing, the brass band." And I was kind of attached to the big brass band, Scottish bagpipes. Anyway, so we had no choice. So we have to go with them, So we gave them the sheet music and everything, and they came out, and then they were in the front. And like this. I was on this big bass drum, right? I mean, myself and Yasa and Buddhi were on this big bass drum. So Prabhupada was going in front of Jagannath's cart, but they were out in the front. And Prabhupada loved it. He was in ecstasy, totally. He was beaming. He saw the Scottish bagpipe. He just loved it. And he made a few comments to Madhavisa and some other devotees about how they were very wonderful. And after a while, of course, because the parade went for some time, and then they just had played I think it was just Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. We had the sheet music for that. So after a while, they were sick of doing that tune, so they just started playing what they would usually play. But it was still good, He said it's all a festival. It's a parade. So Prabhupada. But I was telling that story, But interestingly, another story during that particular visit is that myself and Yasomati Nanda, we were out in book distribution in Melbourne, and at that time we had a little storefront downtown, a shop front, and where the devotees sold incense and clothes and all sorts of things. But in the back there was a big area where, especially Sankirtan devotees, and we have programs back there, a kind of a big area back there for all sorts of functions. So, so we were out and we came back to grab a little lunch, because I had lunch there every day. So as we were coming back, we saw these people crowded around, and there was all this smoke, and we saw in a shop about 3 or 4 shops up from our shop, there was a fire, and it was just started, and there was no fire brigade there yet, no police there yet. It was just started. And so we saw also there was a couple of girls up on the 3rd floor, and they were screaming out, "Help, save us. The fire's coming up the stairwell." There was, those old buildings, they only had one exit and out the stairwell. So they were calling out, and they were on the ledge and calling out. So we were looking around, but no one was there. So Yasso had this idea. He went into the shop, and the ladies there they were putting the finishing touches on the canopies, the fabric that goes on the canopy of the Jagannath cart. They were like sewing in decorations, and they had them all stretched out like that. And so we walked in, and we were talking. There's some girls there. What are we going to do? We need to help them. And then he said, "Well, what about?" And between Yasso and a few of the devotee ladies, they said, "What about using this? This is really thick. We can stretch it out. We can stretch it out, on all sides, and they can jump onto this." So I was like, "Oh, I don't know about this." Yes, what if they go right through? So no, it'll work. It's really strong. So the ladies were saying, it's really strong material. So anyway, we took it out, and still no one had arrived yet. So there was a bunch of karmis out there, and all the devotees came out. So we stretched this out, and the ladies were looking down. There was 3 of them actually, and the one was more kind of inside, and. And we were saying jump, and they were kind of like, "Whoa," really, it got 3 floors up, and so they didn't want to do it. And so Yasso jumped up on the thing, and just started jumping up and down and falling on it, and said, "No, it's good. Look, it's good." And so one of the ladies decided not to do it, and we found out later she had sort of wormed her way out the back and got out a little small window out the back, and then crawled along the ledge on the back and made it out to the next building over. But the girls, one of a couple of the girls jumped onto the canopy, and she jumped down. I remember it was an almighty thud too, because it was quite a way down. And boom, and she kind of bounced up, and then looked around, she jumped off on the next one. And so that was so we saved them then, and by that time the fire brigade and police had arrived, and it was already, the girls were out. And so that got back to Prabhupada, and he was, and it was reported in all the papers, by that evening. By that evening, it got in the papers. Hare Krishna has saved women from the burning inferno. Like that, those sorts of headlines. I think it made the Australian also. That type of headline. And then Prabhupada actually said, "I want those. Give me those clips." You wanted those clips. So I was just remembering some, and I told those stories on teen tweets. Hare Krishna. So anyway, I guess I can go to reading my offering. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Govardhana Pracharini Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschachari Satarini. Srila Prabhupada, in your purport to Bhagavad Gita 4.15, you write, "There are 2 classes of men. Some of them are full of polluted material things within their hearts, and some of them are materially free. Krishna consciousness is equally beneficial for both of these persons. Those who are full of dirty things can take to the line of Krishna consciousness for a gradual cleansing process, following the regulative principles of devotional service. Those who are already cleansed of the impurities may continue to act in the same Krishna consciousness so that others may follow their exemplary activities and thereby be benefited. I am very fortunate that Krishna consciousness is beneficial for both types of people because I am definitely in the category of one with many polluted things in the heart. By your mercy, I have been engaged in the process of Krishna consciousness, and someday I may come to the level of being free from impurities. In fact, at my initiation, you said that all the new disciples should become pure as quickly as possible. Krishna is pavitram, pure, and to associate with him nicely, we should be of the same spiritual nature. I am still endeavouring, Prabhupada, but sometimes I stumble Please help me become 100% completely fixed in devotional service to the Lord. Help me stay on the path without my mind wandering to other places. As Lord Chaitanya says, let me taste the real nectar we are always hankering for. Here at New Govardhana, every Ekadasi, the devotees see and listen to your lectures on a screen in the temple room. How wonderful and powerful they are. Your words cut through mire like a hot knife through butter. How learned you are. You continually quote from many different shastras to emphasize your points in an authorized manner. How compassionate you are. Patiently you explain everything clearly in a constructive way to uplift people to the transcendental position. If I could possess 1/10,000th of your qualities, I am sure I would advance rapidly in my Krishna consciousness, but I know I do not even have that much. For me, advancement is slow. However, I have faith that if I hold on to your lotus feet and associate nicely with devotees in ISKCON, ultimately I will go back home, back to Godhead. Or being purified, I will get an opportunity to serve you and the Lord again in this material world. Either way will be perfection for me. And I wrote a small poem. His life of virtuous thought and deed, the lives of others did exceed. From whom but Prabhupada shall I hear those words that ever charm my ear? No one like Srila Prabhupada shall be a wonderful guiding light for me. He of high and noble mind, gentle, modest, meek and kind. Ignorant we were, just foolish youth. We clung to him for constant truth, yearning to stay by his holy side, to hear instructions that were bona fide. Sacred texts he presented clear and pure, an offering that shall always endure. He was always ready to speak and give knowledge of where we eternally live. Devotional service, with its every limb, brilliantly taught and explained by him. Like a king with a powerful, wondrous bow, he drove away Maya and made us glow. He filled my soul with nectar so high, I began to feel bliss, though a fool was I. The more he gave, the more I drank. For this kind mercy, him I'll ever thank. Srila Prabhupada is my only hope, without whom I could never cope. With suppliant hands and reverent head, I must always remember what he said. He is dearer to me than light and life. My existence before was only strife. Please, Prabhupada, always show the way to someone like me who goes astray. Your servant, Ramai Swami. Hare Krishna.